Okay, so you are comparing two functions here, and looks like the only way we're comparing them is whether they're quadratic or exponential. Now first we have to look at the x-coordinates. Are the x-coordinates all 1 apart? And that makes it a lot easier to determine which is which. And if you look at function a, we go from -3 to -2 to -1, 0, 1, and 2. So all the x-coordinates are 1 apart, and the same thing we have on function b, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. So now we focus on the y's. If you look at the y-coordinates, you go from 4 to 1, 1 to 0, 0 to 1. So let's see what that is. Go from, it is easier when it's written vertically, because that's how we've usually figure out the common difference. But if you go from 4 to 1 here, you're subtracting 3. You go from 1 to 0, you're subtracting 1. And then you go from 0 to 1, you're adding 1. 1 to 4, you're adding 3. And 4 to 9, you're adding 5. Now keep in mind, I went in this order here because it is in that order where the x-coordinates are getting bigger. Or it's just like you're going down on a table here. So now we have the first difference that you see is -3, then -1, +1, +3, and +5. That's the first difference. So can we find the second difference now? Go from -3 to -1. Well, that's +2. Go from -1 to +1, that's +2, then a +2, and then a +2. So the second difference is the same. And if the second difference is the same, that means function A is quadratic. Now, function B. I see 5 and 15 and 45, 135. Go from 5 to 15, it's +10. Go from 15 to 45, that's +30. 45 to 135, that's +90. That's the first difference. The second difference, go from 10 to 30, that's +20. Go from 30 to 90, that's +60. Ooh. So the second difference is not the same on function B. This is the second difference. Those numbers are not the same like they were up here when you had all those 2's. But what I also will notice is we'll go from 5 to 15, you times by 3, times by 3, times by 3. 10 to 30, times by 3 to get to 90. 20 to 60, times by 3. You're multiplying by 3. So function B is exponential. And that is C.